Hello everyone, thank you for tuning in. My name is Phoenix here at Patrick Cadillac, located at 526 Mall Drive here in Schaumburg, Illinois. Going to give you guys some tech tips today. Going to go over today's hot topic, the Cadillac LYRIQ. Going to show in how the charging works and also different forms of charging and what that means for time, what that means for you guys, you know, if you're thinking about at-home charging and all that fun stuff. So without further ado, I'd say let's get right into this. Let's start off with just where do I plug in my charger? Want to charge the car? Well, where does it go? So Cadillac tries to be a little sneaky, but this is their way of being classy with it as well. Right here on the Cadillac emblem on the side, give this a push, wham, out here it comes, right? So what you'll see on the inside though is it's going to be the top part, that's going to be covered by a plastic seal on the bottom. That top part represents a J1772 charger. That's a standard level 1, level 2 charging that Cadillac offers. Now as an extension, if you go into that CCS fast charger, you pop this out and now you have the availability to look inside there, plug it in. The J1772 level 1 can take even up to 72 hours. Very long time to get a full charge from 0 to 100. But most of the ones we offer here specifically are all level 2 chargers, which is about 8 hours. If you want to go a little more advanced in that energy, the CCS fast charger is going to offer 45 minutes up to even just as little as 2 hours from going from 0 to 100. So that's your options there. Once you're all done, pop the seal back in. Top right corner, there's a little line that kind of sticks out. You give that button a push, and then closes right back there for you when you're all done. So now that we have our charger all plugged in, let's take a look at some indicators to see what type of charge we're getting. That's all going to show up here right on the top of your dash here with the like a light indicator that'll show. So what this means is if you see a blue flashing light, that's going to represent delayed charging. So that means even though your charger's plugged in, there's no active charge going on right now. And now we'll go into the car later and show you how to change that setting. But that's what that light would mean. If it's flashing green, that represents that it is in fact charging right then and there. When everything's said and done, when your charger is all set and everything's fully charged in your car, you're going to see a solid green light representing that everything's all done. You're ready to unplug and continue on with your day. Now that we're inside the car, let's talk a little bit about the apps on screen here. There's a lot to give in this new Cadillac LYRIQ, but today we're going to specifically focus just on charging. So by giving this a press here, as I mentioned outside, there's a difference between charging now and charging later. That can even affect the light indicator up there in the front. So charging now just simply means right when you plug in that charger, it's going to immediately start sending the electricity into your vehicle. Today we have it set up to 80%, which is what we recommend for long-term battery health. So it's showing here that by 8:45 p.m., we put in a regular level 2 charger right now. We'll go from whatever percentage we're at now to being finished at 8:45. But let's say we're pulling in at night, you know, call it a day, and we just don't plan on using our car until the morning. Well, then you can click charge later and actually set a preset time. So let's say we're going to leave our house at 8 a.m., right? And we even want to precondition our cabin, meaning that the heat's on, car's all ready to go, you're nice and comfortable in the car before we even leave the house. And yes, you can leave these out in the garage too, which can make it even a little more nicer and convenient that you're not outside in the cold, right? So 8 a.m. is going to represent that the charging is done at that time the car is ready to leave. It does not mean that we're going to start charging at 8 a.m. It means that we're done at 8 a.m. And you can set this ahead of time, right, by going to charge later. Alright, so now if you're a type A person like myself, you can actually create a schedule Monday through Sunday by using this section here of the app. So what this represents is that you can, through those times, all week, you can preset a whole schedule for your charging, meaning those peak hours overnight, optimal times, can all be preset for you. So if you're used to being on that normal daily schedule, well then the car is already in sync with your daily routines as well. Alright, so last but not least is going to be the settings option here at the bottom. So what this is, just little minute changes that you can make to your vehicle. So up top you can set your home charge location. Of course, if you move to a different home, you can make those changes there. Any notifications that are involving electric can also get sent to your vehicle. And then fast charge prep. Think of it as an athlete, how they normally like to stretch before they do a workout, for example. So this represents the same thing. This right here, by activating that, will precondition the battery ready to take its charge, so when you plug it in, well, then it's ready to go. And then lastly here is going to be preconditioned temperature that you can set kind of that preconditioned cabin, setting all that up for yourself so you kind of know, okay, well, when I get my car, after activating preconditioning, it'll be exactly, so let's say, for example, here, 72 degrees. And then we already have on here at the bottom, preferred charging times is on, so the car is only going to use the energy for those cheapest hours, right? Anything here as well you can use through your My Cadillac app, which is brand new, being that the LYRIQ came out. You can make any of these changes simply on your phone as well. You don't have to be in the vehicle to do all this stuff too. There you have it. Thank you guys for tuning in. Really appreciate it. Again, this is Phoenix, our product specialist here at Patrick Cadillac. Happy to give you guys some tech tips today on our Cadillac LYRIQ, and stay tuned for the next one.